All right, guys. Day 324 of the Daily Bible Reading with Linda Weber. 2 Kings 11, Psalm 143, and Luke chapter 20. That's where we're at. So, don't forget, tonight at 2 o'clock in the morning, you want to get up and turn your clocks ahead 1 hour, okay? We're going to lose an hour tonight. But it'll be worth it because at 9 o'clock at night, we're going to have daylight. I think we should be like Arizona and not mess with it. You guys in agreement? We should not mess with it. Just leave it alone. I think they should just leave it at what we're getting ready to do. I like daylight at 9 o'clock at night. Nothing worse than at 5 o'clock in the evening. It's dark out and you're ready for bed. Okay, so we're moving right along. Day 324. It won't be long. We'll have read for one whole year. You know? So, I'm going to go ahead and get started. That's another thing. There's nothing worse than somebody getting on and say, well, I'm just going to sit here and wait for a few minutes and give everybody time to get on here. No. Nobody wants that because you're going to lose the ones that are already tuned in, and the ones that are watching a replay, they're not going to sit there for 10 minutes and look at you while you're waiting for somebody to jump online. It don't work that way. People don't stay on long anyway. They're too busy scrolling. So we're in 2 Kings chapter 11, and so let's see what happens here. And then remember Ahab and Jezebel. Well, this is not good because now we're going to read about their daughter. So, like mother, like daughter. Jezebel was a wicked queen, and I've been putting some stuff on my Facebook today about the Jezebel spirit, which is alive and well. It can work through a man or a woman, but a man will generally go with the Absalom spirit. That's the spirit that it's kind of one and the same, but that's generally what a man operates under. But once you understand what you're dealing with and you need to study these things to see what you're dealing with, especially if you're in ministry, But once you understand, you know what spirits are out there. When you see a spirit operating in a person, you can know how to deal with that. Okay? Jezebel is a wicked, wicked spirit. It has to be dealt with. And we deal with them all the time in ministry. They'll try to get close to the ministers. They try to take them out. But you also deal with them in your workplace. There'll be people vying for position and title. And they want recognition. That's another way you could tell a Jezebel spirit, because they do want, recognition. So, but anyway, I'll put little bits and pieces on because I've been doing a lot of study on that spirit because I know I deal with it a lot. And I do deal with it, because God said in Revelation, he says, I have this against you. He said, this and this is okay. He's dealing with one of the churches, but he said, I have this against you. You tolerate that Jezebel. So anyway, that's why I've been putting stuff on there. Well, this wicked king queen that we're going to read about, let's see what she ends up doing. And this is Jezebel and Ahab's daughter. Okay, she's queen now. So, all right. So let's see. When you get on here, if you just wouldn't mind liking the video and sharing it, that'll help me, because I know they got me throttled. They got me throttled way down. Facebook does. How could you not love me? Love my posts, love my videos. How could you not? Because it's hard to believe there's people out there that don't like me. Oh my goodness. Just hurts my little pea-picking feelings, Just upsets me so much. Do you believe that? Oh, I didn't think so. All right, we're in the daily Bible reading. There is a group, Daily Bible Reading with Linda Weber. If you go to groups and look that up, you can join that group and leave time like it's going to be tonight. Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel. Shanna, how are you today? Yeah, leave it alone. For crying out loud, that 1 hour really messes me up, you know? So leave it alone. I think we should vote that we get to leave it alone. I don't understand it. I've lived in Arizona, and they don't mess with the time out there. It stays the same because they're pretty stupid in a lot of things out there, but that's one thing that I highly agree with. Leave it alone, you know? All right, we're going to go ahead and share this. Oh boy. So anyway, I am on 5 platforms right now. I'm on YouTube. If you go to Soul Purpose Ministries on YouTube, it's on there. And then I'm on, I'm not going to say it's me. And then I'm on the Daily Bible Reading with Linda Weber group. And then I'm on my regular Facebook page, my Soul Purpose Ministries Facebook page. So there's all different ways you can find this Bible reading, okay? So let's just go ahead and get right into it. Like I said, we're on day 324, and I'm going to read out of 2 Kings chapter 11, and I'm reading out of Billy Graham's recommended translation, which is the New Living Translation, the NLT. Especially if you're a new believer, that's a good one to start with, because then you don't have all the these and the thous. I know some people think that it's King James only, and, well, that's fine. You do what you got to do, but there's nothing wrong with some of the translations I'd stay away from, but just ask your pastor, what is a good translation that I could go with. So we're going to read about Athaliah, who was the daughter of King Ahab and Queen Jezebel. And you know how evil they were. They were the most evil king and queen that there was. So, and like I said, pay attention to my Facebook, because you can look at these traits in your own self. You can see, hey, I've been operating in a Jezebel spirit, or you can see it in other people. I see it in real estate, in agents and in people, clients that I have, like when I'm showing things, and I see it all over across the board. Really, you see it in ministry, but people are people, whether they're in ministry or in your family or in your workplace. People are people, and these spirits operate in different people. So especially if you're a minister, you're going to deal with these spirits. Like they're always, Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy, right? So not that you should be scared of them, not at all, because you should not even tolerate them. Of course, God said, I have this against you. You tolerate that Jezebel. So, I'm a confronter, so it comes easy for me to be able to confront stuff like that, or those spirits, Doesn't bother me at all. I mean, you'd rather not deal with it, but it needs to be dealt with. So sometimes you just got to deal with it, especially if you're a minister. You don't want to tolerate it. So, Athaliah. When Athaliah, who is the daughter of Ahab and Jezebel, the mother of King Ahaziah of Judah, learned that her son was dead, she began to destroy the rest of the royal family. So here you have grandma, who's going to kill all of her grandsons, because she wants to destroy that family line, all for the sake of her position, title, So she's going to kill her grandkids so they can't be king, because the king is dead now, so she's taken over. Can you even imagine? That's how evil the Jezebel spirit is, okay? So, but Ahaziah's sister, Jehosheba, the daughter of King Jehoram, took Ahaziah's infant son, Joash, and stole him away, or hid him, from among the rest of the king's children who were about to be killed. So she had all of the king's sons lined up, all the children, and kill every one of them. The grandmother. I can't even fathom it, but, She put Joash and his nurse in a bedroom, and they hid him from Athaliah, so the child was not murdered. Joash remained hidden in the temple of the Lord for 6 years. Now, he would be safe in the temple because Athaliah, like her mother and father, they served the god Baal. Okay, they Baal worship, so they weren't serving Jehovah God. So they weren't going to go in the temple. That was a very safe. The temple of Jehovah was basically deserted at this point. So that was a safe place to hide the baby, So he remained hidden in the temple of the Lord for 6 years. Now he's an infant, but she hid him for 6 years while Athaliah ruled over the land. All right. In the 7th year, now Joash is 7 years old now. In the 7th year of Athaliah's reign, Jehoiada, the priest, summoned the commanders of the Karite mercenaries. They're not having a hard time talking today. And the palace guards to come to the temple of the Lord. He made a solemn pact with them and made them swear an oath of loyalty there in the Lord's temple. Then he showed them the king's son. So nobody knows about the king's son, and now he's going to be revealed, okay? Jehoiada told them, this is what you must do. A third of you who are on duty on the Sabbath are to guard the royal palace itself. Another third of you are to stand guard at the Sur gate. And the final third must stand guard behind the palace guard. These 3 groups will all guard the palace. The other 2 units who are off duty on the Sabbath must stand guard for the king at the Lord's temple. Form a bodyguard around the king and keep your weapons in hand. Kill anyone who tries to break through. Stay with the king wherever he goes. Now remember, the king, the child is 7 years old now, okay? So the commanders did everything as Jehoiada, the priest, ordered. The commanders took charge of the men reporting for duty that Sabbath, as well as those who were going off duty. They brought them all to Jehoiada, the priest, and he supplied them with the spears and small shields that had once belonged to King David and were stored in the temple of the Lord. The palace guards stationed themselves around the king with their weapons ready. They formed a line from the south side of the temple around to the north side and all around the altar. Then Jehoiada brought out Joash. So the priest brings Joash out, the king's son, placed the crown on his head, and presented him with a copy of God's laws, or, copy of the covenant, the 10 commandments, okay, or the testament. They anointed him because that's what he uses to rule, was the 10 commandments. That's the guidelines, okay? So they anointed him and proclaimed him king, and everyone clapped their hands and shouted, "Long live the king." When Athaliah, the queen, heard the noise made by the palace guards and the people, she hurried to the Lord's temple to see what was happening. When she arrived, she saw the newly crowned king standing in his place of authority by the pillar, as was the custom at times of coronation. The commanders and trumpeters were surrounding him, and people from all over the land were rejoicing and blowing trumpets. That's what we would do if Trump got back in right now, right? And people are going to be rejoicing and blowing trumpets for Trump. Oh, boy. When Athaliah saw all this, she tore her clothes in despair and shouted, "Treason! Treason!" Then Jehoiada, the priest, ordered the commanders who were in charge of the troops, take her to the soldiers in front of the temple and kill anyone who tries to rescue her. For the priest had said she must not be killed in the temple of the Lord. So they seized her and led her out to the gate where horses enter the palace grounds, and she was killed there. So they got rid of her, the evil queen. Then Jehoiada made a covenant between the Lord and the king and the people that they would be the Lord's people. He also made a covenant between the king and the people. And all the people of the land went over to the temple of Baal and tore it down. They demolished the altars and smashed the idols to pieces, and they killed Matan, the priest of Baal, in front of the altars. Oh, hallelujah. Jehoiada the priest stationed guards at the temple of the Lord. Then the commanders, the Kiraite mercenaries, the palace guards, and all the people of the land escorted the king from the temple of the Lord. They went through the gate of the guards and into the palace, and the king took his seat on the royal throne. So all the people of the land rejoiced, and the city was peaceful because Athaliah had been killed at the king's palace. Joash was 7 years old when he became king. He was the youngest king ever. And he reigned for 40 years, and he was killed by his servants when he was 47 years old. So now Joash is king. So tomorrow we're going to read, we're reading in Kings, so we're reading about kings. So tomorrow we're going to read 2 Kings chapter 12. How's everybody doing? I don't see anybody in the chat. Everybody's probably sitting there dreading changing their clocks tonight. Make sure you turn your clocks ahead because you're going to lose an hour. How exciting that we're going to lose an hour of sleep tonight. But you got to get up for church in the morning because that's what you do on Sunday is you go to church, right? Psalm 143. Let's go to Psalm 143. So guys, Athaliah, I don't even like saying her name. She was the Jezebel and Ahab's daughter. And Jezebel and Ahab were very evil. Jezebel, I've been putting stuff on my Facebook because I've been studying a lot about Jezebel because I'm actually dealing with that spirit right now and about to confront it. So, but I'm a confronter, and you can't be afraid of anything evil because greater is he that's in you, Christian, than he that's in the world, right? And you're not dealing with the person, the Bible, I read about it, yesterday or the day before about the believer's authority. We're not fighting flesh and blood. You're not fighting against people, but principalities and powers and rulers of the darkness of the air. That's who you're dealing with, the spirits, not people. You know what I'm saying? You have to deal with people, obviously, but you're actually coming against that spirit. And we can't tolerate that stuff. We can't run from the devil. Okay? I know we don't want to deal with the devil because, we just don't want to, but sometimes you just have to. Especially if it's a family member or, somebody you work with or whatever. You can't dread to go to work because you have a Jezebel spirit there. Okay? Just confront the thing. And maybe go to your boss or whatever you have to do. If the boss don't want to deal with it, you probably just need to go find you another job. Because Jezebel, nobody wants to deal with that. But the more you learn about it, the more you'll be able to confront. Let's go to Psalm. I must have been moving my mouse. All of a sudden, this thing started going across. I'm like, okay, do I have Okay. Let's go to Psalm 143. David wrote this psalm. Don't blink out on me. Come on. Hear my prayer, O Lord. Listen to my plea. Answer me because you are faithful and righteous. I'm reading now the New Living Translation. Don't put your servant on trial, for no one is innocent before you. My enemy has chased me. He has knocked me to the ground and forces me to live in darkness like those in the grave. I'm losing all hope. I'm paralyzed with fear. That's what fear does, is paralyze you. Faith energizes, fear paralyzes. Just like dealing with the Jezebel spirit. People get paralyzed because one of the ways that you know that you are being tormented by a Jezebel spirit is you feel fear. You want to be isolated. You feel depression. You feel you really sometimes you would just call out to God that you want to kill yourself, It's weird, man. Yeah, it's no joke. So I'm losing all hope. I'm paralyzed with fear. I remember the days of old. I ponder all your great works and think about what you have done. I lift my hands to you in prayer. I thirst for you as parched land thirsts for rain. Come quickly, Lord, and answer me, for my depression deepens. Don't turn away from me or I will die. Let me hear of your unfailing love each morning, for I am trusting you. Show me where to walk, for I give myself to you. Rescue me from my enemies, Lord. I run to you to hide me. Teach me to do your will, for you are my God. May your gracious spirit lead me forward on a firm footing. For the glory of your name, O Lord, preserve my life. Because of your faithfulness, bring me out of this distress. In your unfailing love, silence all my enemies and destroy all my foes, for I am your servant. And that is Psalm 143. All right, we read Here we go with we again. I read one chapter out of the Old Testament and one chapter out of the New. We've already read Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, 1 Kings, 2 Kings. 12th book of the Old Testament. That's where we're at right now. Oh, boy. Okay, guys, if you don't mind when you get on here, share the video. I know they've got me throttled way down. I already know that. And they've told me they were doing it to me. So, yeah. So if you guys will share it, maybe some of your friends will watch. I get a lot of replay views as well, but let's just go ahead and get the word out there. Kick the devil in his teeth, right? I don't know why it's not showing up on the daily Bible reading. Oh, it is. Okay. All right. I gotcha. There's comments on there. See? Shanna. Hey, Ron. How are you, my friend? And Chris and Shanna up there in Brunswick. And Chris and Ron are up in the Warren area. Let's jump over to the New Testament, to Luke chapter 20. Let's go over there. There's a lot to learn in ministry. You never stop learning. If you think you've arrived and you know everything, you're backsliding. Seriously. Check your encoder settings. I don't want to. I don't know how to check them, and this thing keeps blinking out on me. Sorry, guys. Hey, Chris, how are you? How's Chris doing up there in Northeast Ohio? I'm actually going to Columbus, so we're getting ready to do a meeting there. I'm sorry there's no signal, so you probably can still hear me, but not sure why it's doing this. It actually did not start doing this until I moved the studio into a different room. So when that happened, now it's trying to blink out on me. But we're just going to ignore it. Okay? We're just going to keep on reading the Bible. Luke chapter 20. But anyway, yeah, I'm getting ready to go to Columbus and do a meeting over there at a hotel. So I'll give you more details soon on that. So I want to invite all of you to come out there. Go to Columbus. Go make a weekend of it, It's only an hour from the River Church. Nope, not yet. I've lost my contact up there. I mean, they just totally disappeared. They probably scrolled my Facebook and said, I don't want nothing to do with that woman. She's crazy. I'll still be there. Whether that person comes or not, I don't really care. Because some people are just religious and they like their religion, So, yeah, but that person just kind of disappeared. I had 2 people get rid of me today. They got upset about a post I put on Facebook. What was it about? Oh, putting your cart back at Walmart. I literally had 2 demons attack me. And the one blocked me. She lives up in your area, Ron and Chris. My Lord, people are crazy. And then the other one, she just deleted me. But the one actually blocked me. All because of a stupid little post about putting your cart back at Walmart. I said people are lazy. They instead of taking their cart and put it back in the stanchion or run it back into the store, it doesn't matter about Walmart, any store. Don't just take your cart and just leave it in the parking space. There's nothing worse than you get ready to park at the store and there's a cart in the way. So you either have to get out of your car and move the cart because some lazy turd was too lazy to put it back, or you have to go find another parking space. So, no, I put it on there, and those 2 morons just completely See, that's how easily people get offended. So, oh, I know. It just can't stand it. I used to live in South Texas, right on the tip of Texas. Matter of fact, I had the Gulf of Mexico right out my front door. Literally opened my door, and there was the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, so there's a constant wind down there. Thank God for that, because in the summer it's like 102 degrees, and you could take a shower and walk outside and you're soaked from the humidity. But if you didn't have that breeze, it would really be unbearable down there. Well, we had a Walmart there, and it's people from across the border mainly that lived there, but I was managing an RV park and a marina there. So I would go to Walmart, and I swear it is terrible down there. They just leave their carts wherever they are, and the wind is always blowing, so boom, boom, boom. Cars are constantly getting hit by these carts. And sometimes the winds are really strong, and they will literally put a big dent in your car. So, but people don't see nothing wrong with this. I ran a lady down one day. She just left her car. I said, hey, you get over there and put that cart back. I literally yelled at her, and she did. She looked at me like, this lady's crazy. I better do what she says. But I was so angry. It was like, oh my God, that brought out the worst in me, living down there in South Texas, because that's a different culture in itself down there. We normal decent people, we put things back where we get them, and it's all, maybe they weren't taught right as children. I don't know. They weren't taught to put their toys away or put things back where they got them, So it's a wonder they put their toilet paper in the toilet after they wipe their butt with it, It's a wonder they just don't throw it on the floor or just let it, whatever. I mean, people are so darn lazy. I'm sorry to be so blunt today, but, what do I do? It's me. It's Linda. Oh, boy. Okay. I'll just go ahead and run everybody else off. Oh, I'm not losing anybody. You guys are awesome. Some people they can't stand me. They're looking for a reason to block me, But it's so funny because I was going to delete that post, but then I thought, I'll just leave it on there because it's funny because, am I froze up? Did I disappear, guys? Did I disappear or am I still here? Oh, man. According to what I see, I'm not here anymore. I don't even think I'm real, am I? But let me make sure. Let me know, guys. Am I still here? Yeah, I think I am. So anyway, it's so funny because before somebody deletes you or blocks you on Facebook, they're like a demon. They'll type, they'll put all these comments in and then they're gone, It's it's just like the devil, when you say get in the name of Jesus, they run with their tail between their legs, So anyway, that's the fun I've been having today. I must have way too much time on my hands, I didn't mean anything by it. I mean, I was just stating a fact. People are lazy. Too lazy to put their... And then Libby Lou, somebody named Libby Lou got on there, and you should read that comment. That's really funny. Libby Lou. I mean, anybody that even has a name called Libby Lou, there's something wrong with that person anyway. But it was kind of funny what they put on there, So it was quite a funny day. Now you're all going to go on my Facebook and find this post, right? Oh my goodness. People never cease to amaze me, though. You know what? If you try to please everybody, there was a song. You can't please everybody, so you got to please yourself. Oh, boy. I mean, it's true. If you try to please everybody, you'll drive yourself crazy. So, oh, brother. Okay. Oh, boy. I better get going because, I'm liable to get blocked and deleted some more, I can't help it, I can't help it. I'm very transparent, and sometimes maybe I shouldn't be so transparent, but anyway. Okay, let's keep reading. We're going to go to Luke chapter 20. All right. See, I'm losing people as I speak. That's my problem. I speak too much sometimes, huh? Okay. We've already read the whole New Testament. We're in the 12th book of the Old Testament. We're going to keep on reading. We have to read one chapter out of the Old Testament and one chapter out of the New Testament, okay? You don't read the Bible like a storybook, starting in Genesis and read it through. You read out of both the Old and the New. The Old Testament is types and shadows of the New Testament, New Covenant, you know. Man, this Facebook is, or not the Facebook, it's the, whatever. The live stream is really trying to cut out on me. So we've already read Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts. Come on, say these books with me, okay? Because you're going to memorize them. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans, 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1 Thessalonians, 2 Thessalonians, 1 Timothy, 2 Timothy, Titus, Philemon. This thing's really acting up. Hebrews, James, 1 Peter, 2 Peter, 1 John, 2 John, 3 John, Jude, and Revelation. Okay, there's 66 books in the Bible, and we're in the 12th book of the Old, and we're in Luke. Like I said, we're already done. We've already read the whole New Testament, but now we're starting over. And this thing needs to stop cutting out on me. All right, let's go to Luke chapter 20. Now it happened, and I'm reading out the New King James Version. Now it happened on one of those days, as he taught the people in the temple and preached the gospel. Wow, that's what we're supposed to be doing, guys, is preaching the gospel, okay? This is Jesus, okay? He taught in the temple and preached the gospel, and that the chief priest, here goes the religious people again, and the scribes, together with the elders, confronted him. Oh, there it is. It's always the religious people, you know? And spoke to him, saying, tell us, by what authority are you doing these things? Or who is he who gave you this authority? But Jesus answered and said to them, I also will ask you one thing, and answer me. The baptism of John, was it from heaven or from men? And they reasoned among themselves, saying, if we say from heaven, he will say, why then did you not believe him? But if we say from men, all the people will stone us, for they are persuaded that John was a prophet. Did I freeze up, guys? Yeah, well, at least I don't have too stupid of a look on my face, right? So as long as you can hear me, give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me. Unreal. I don't understand it. Okay, so anyway, but if we say from men, all the people will stone us, for they are persuaded that John was a prophet. So they answered that they did not know where it was from. And Jesus said to them, neither will I tell you by what authority I do these things. Then he began to tell the people this parable. A certain man planted a vineyard, leased it to vine dressers, and went into a far country for a long time. I guess I am froze up. Well, can you guys hear me? Just give me a thumbs up, okay? I don't even see any comments. I'm about to start this thing all over again. So irritating. Hey, Elizabeth and Bruce. Definitely froze up, guys. But as long as you can hear me, that's all that matters. If you could tell me that you could hear me, I'm just going to keep on reading. Okay? Oh, brother. Stupid Facebook anyway. All right. Nobody's answering me. Okay, I'm going to keep on reading. All right. Now at vintage time, he sent a servant to the vine dressers that they might give him some of the fruit of the vineyard. But the vine dressers beat him and sent him away empty-handed. Again, he sent another servant, and they beat him also, treated him shamefully, and sent him away empty-handed. Again, he sent another servant, and again he sent a third, and they wounded him also and cast him out. Then the owner of the vineyard said, what shall I do? I will send my beloved son. Probably they will respect him when they see him. But when the vine dressers saw him, they reasoned among themselves, saying, this is the heir. Come, let us kill him, that the inheritance may be ours. So they cast him out of the vineyard and killed him. Therefore, what will the owner of the vineyard do to them? He will come and destroy those vine dressers and give the vineyard to others. All right. I need to know, can you guys still hear me? Maybe everybody did you guys go home? Is that what you did? All right, then. Facebook has been really, really weird today. Oh, Elizabeth said I can hear you. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. You don't need to watch me then. At least you can see me, right? That's a good thing. Okay. As long as I know. Okay. As long as I know that you guys can hear me, that's all that matters. Okay. Okay, that's all that matters. All right, so we're in Luke chapter 20, verse 13. Then the owner of the vineyard said, what shall I do? I will send my beloved son. Probably they will respect him when they see him. But when the vine dressers saw him, they reasoned among themselves, saying, this is the heir. Come, let us kill him, that the inheritance may be ours. So they cast him out of the vineyard and killed him. Therefore, what will the owner of the vineyard do to them? He will come and destroy those vine dressers and give the vineyard to others. And when they heard it, they said, certainly not. Then he looked at them and said, what then is this that is written? The stone which the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone. Whoever falls on that stone will be broken, but on him, whoever it falls, it will grind him to powder. And the chief priests and the scribes that very hour sought to lay hands on him. But they feared the people, for they knew he had spoken this parable against them, because that's what that parable Jesus was talking about. He came to his own, and his own received him not, and they ended up killing him. So they watched him and sent spies who pretended to be righteous, that they might seize on his words, in order to deliver him to the power and the authority of the governor. Then they asked him, saying, Teacher, we know that you say and teach rightly, and you do not show personal favoritism, but teach the way of God in truth. Is it lawful for us to pay taxes to Caesar or not? But he perceived their craftiness and said to them, why do you test me? Show me a denarius. Whose image and inscription does it have? They answered and said, Caesar's. And he said to them, render therefore to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's. But they could not catch him in his words in the presence of the people, and they marveled at his answer and kept silent. Then some of the Sadducees, they're very sad, you see, who deny that there's a resurrection, came to him and asked him, saying, Teacher, Moses wrote to us that if a man's brother dies, having a wife, and he dies without children, his brother should take his wife and raise up offspring for his brother. Now, there were 7 brothers, and the first took a wife and died without children. And the second took her as a wife, and he died childless. Then the third took her, and in like manner the 7 also, and they left no children and died. Last of all, the woman died also. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife does she become? For all 7 had her as wife. Jesus answered and said to them, the sons of this age marry and are given in marriage. But those who are counted worthy to attain that age and the resurrection from the dead neither marry nor are given in marriage. Nor can they die anymore, for they are equal to the angels and are sons of God, being sons of the resurrection. But even Moses showed in the burning bush passage that the dead are raised, when he called the Lord the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. For he is not the God of the dead, but of the living, for all live to him. Now, some of the scribes answered and said, Teacher, you have spoken well. But after that, they dared not question him anymore. God's enemies study the scriptures they want to use to come against him. It's no different today. Religious people, they know the scriptures and they're always trying to trip people up, And he said to them, how can they say that the Christ is the son of David? Now, David himself said in the book of Psalm, the Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand till I make your enemies your footstool. Therefore, David calls him Lord. How is he then his son? Then in the hearing of all the people, he said to his disciples, beware of the scribes, religious people, who desire to go around in long robes, love greetings in the marketplaces, the best seats in the synagogues, and the best places at feasts, who devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayers. These will receive greater condemnation. And that is Luke chapter 20. So since you guys can't see me anymore, and all you can do is hear me, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. So thanks for joining in on day 324 of the daily Bible reading. We read 2 Kings 11, Psalm 143, and Luke chapter 20. All right, don't forget to set your clocks ahead tonight so you're not late for church tomorrow. And I'll see you on here tomorrow with day 325. Keep reading your Bible.